Hi guys, and welcome to this week's ALAKAZAM Live, and Halloween is almost upon us, so for the next few weeks we're going to be throwing in some of our Halloween collection. We got a few things to talk to you about today, not all of them spooky and Halloweenish, but we've got a couple that are Halloweenish. Now, our regular Wayne Goodman is not with us today. He's over with Craig Petty filming the Netrix. So if you belong to Netrix, you will see some goodies coming from Wayne Goodman very, very soon. But this week, I am joined with our very own Andy Smith.
Hello!
Hello, Mr.
How we
Smith.
doing? How are we good? Yeah, I'm well, mate. You okay?
Yeah, really good. Thank you. Really good. I will say, I'm just going to say a couple of shout outs, because we've got my good friend Tommy Burnett. He's joining us from New York City. We've got John Stacey joining us. We've got Clifford online. We've got Joseph, Ian, John, Mark, David, Nemid, Joseph, Darren, Kritz, Kevin, James. We've got loads of people joining us today. So welcome one and all. If you've got any questions for us about anything magic or ALAKAZAM, just drop them in here. And I have got a question actually. I joined Joseph and Tommy. They had like a show this morning, a live show, where they have a bit of a quiz as well, and John Fox from Global Magic was on it. And one of the questions that was asked, don't you answer it, Andy, because I know you know the answer, but I'll be interested to see if any of our watchers know the answer to this. So let me find the question and I will read it to you. Let me find it here. So here we go. The question is, who used to hum loudly instead of using an orchestra while performing tricks that often failed? He was also credited, or often credited, with the man who invented comedy magic. All right, so he used to hum loudly instead of using an orchestra while performing tricks that often failed, and he's often been credited with inventing comedy magic. So if you think you know the answer, drop it in. There is no prize, it is just for fun. And for those eagle-eyed viewers, you will see one of our new releases somewhere in this room.
Dun dun dun.
Da, 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 da. Talking about new releases, Andy, next week, Tuesday evening, we have got a live launch.
We have.
I'm going to play a little tiny trailer that tells you a bit more about it, and then we'll be right back.
How do you do that?
Well, I read your mind, which is different to making a prediction.
You are a freak.
So that's happening next Tuesday. We've got Wayne, we have got Wayne Goodman coming down next week, but we've also got Craig and Ryan and Petty coming down on Monday and Tuesday. They are filming a whole host of projects. One of them being a Christmas themed trick, which is great. It's a brilliant packet trick. But it's a packet trick that you could easily perform to adults because there's a lot of magic going on in it. It's not like a kiddie trick, even though the images are all Christmas themed. The actual magic is really strong.
It is very much designed for family audiences, isn't it?
But the kids will get a kick out of it. It's got a great story. You've got some really lovely magical moments, and I believe it's the first Christmas trick Craig Petty has already has ever invented. So we've got that coming out. We're aiming to have that out mid-November, so you can get it in plenty of time for your Christmas jobs. And also it will work perfectly over Zoom and things like that if you do any sort of Christmas shows on Facebook or anything like that. And we've got a really strong final quarter coming up of releases.
There's loads of great stuff. We've got, in fact, I think quite a broad range of different products as well. You know, so it's not just stuff that is card orientated, it's not just stuff that is coin orientated, it is something literally I think would be for everybody.
100%.
So truly excited about that. You know, it's great for me and Harry, and well, for all of us really. But you know, me and Harry, when we see stuff that is coming into the shop, parcels arrive, and we open it up, and it is like Christmas for us every time a parcel arrives, because we look at it, we open it up, and we're like, oh my God, such and such is here. Right, let's go and put that out with this, and then something else turns up. We've just had a huge order come in from the States that has one of the new projects in it. When that turned up, actually that turned up in 2 boxes, and when that came through, I was like a kid at Christmas. I really was. There was one moment Harry had to come out to the warehouse and find me. He's like, what are you doing? I was like, have you seen the quality of these? Have you seen how good these are? And just really excited about it. So yeah, we're all very enthused about it.
Hopefully one of our Christmas tricks, right?
Yeah, that is, yeah, exactly. So yeah, lots of exciting times. You know, we have pretty much stuff coming in every day, I think, and we just open it up, we have a look at it, we're immediately, or one of the two of us are on FaceTime to Peter, and we're like, this has turned up, look how good this is. Everything from packaging down to the actual tricks themselves. So yeah, exciting times, we love it.
Yeah, it's really, really good. Bear with me 1 second, because I just tried to sort something out. And now
For those of you that don't know as well, just while Peter's doing that, we do have a new addition to the ALAKAZAM family. We have Emma has started working for us, has joined us. Emma has been helping out in the post room and helping to produce and put together the tricks ready to go and release. So welcome, Emma. I know you're not watching this at the moment, you're making up some stuff next door. But yeah, welcome, Emma, to the ALAKAZAM fan. Yeah, really good. She makes a wicked cup of coffee as well, so there we go.
So, let's have a little sneaky peek.
Yes. Ooh, look at that.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hey.
Yeah.
So anyone that joined us, I think, for Tackling Terrifying Taboos,
yes,
they got a preview of the trailer for this. And I've had quite a few emails from people saying, when's it coming out? It's expected to be out in the next sort of 7 to 10 days.
Yeah.
So keep your eye out for that.
Yeah.
The amazing John O'Riordan is joining us today.
Oh, yes.
Welcome, John.
Yeah.
I've been speaking to John, actually. I'm desperate to get John on the Academy.
Oh, that would be amazing. Do you know what? John is such a fantastic performer. I've had the pleasure of working with John a few times at the Magic Circle during their what were at homes. And John is fantastic. He's such a nice guy. The magic is brilliant. And yeah, any time that I've had a chance to work with John, I've absolutely relished the opportunity. So that would be great.
Really, really good. So guys, as we were saying, next Tuesday evening, Craig Petty is right here at the Alakazam studio. We're launching his brand new release, which is a great piece of commercial mentalism that you could do at tables, you could do mix and mingle, you could do it stand up, literally any situation. And it's a modular routine, so it's actually about 3-4 phases when you put it all together, but you can do one phase, you can choose another phase to do, and I've got a bunch of little bonus ideas on there as well. But it's a great thing, fits in your pocket, and it plays big, and it gets the reactions that you saw there. It's so good.
Yeah.
So good. So join us next Tuesday evening. We will also have an after show, and for those of you that don't know, if you purchase it while we're live, within that live hour, you'll get access to the after show, where we'll give you a live unboxing. We give you the code to the instructional video so you can start learning it before the product turns up at your house. And also we have a bit of a brainstorming session where we come up with little bonus ideas. Now the after show is not recorded, it's there as a little treat and a little thank you to everyone that supports us on live launch evening. Okay, so make sure you're there next Tuesday evening at 7 PM right here on Facebook and on YouTube. So you're going to be performing a couple of tricks for us as well at the moment, Andy.
Yes.
But before you do,
yeah,
I think I'm going to drop a trailer for one of our spooky tricks, or a trick from our spooky collection.
Yeah.
This is, we've got so many good spooky tricks. You're actually, I hope, a bit later going to show the trick that started it all.
Yep. Yeah,
for us anyway. But I'm going to show one of my favourites from recent years. So let's take a look at this and then we'll be back.
I'm proper freaked out by that.
Okay, I want you to imagine the scene. I want you to imagine the dark streets. I want you to imagine a cold, drizzly atmosphere. You can see the street lamps and you can see the sign for the police station. You've heard of Jack the Ripper. Jack the Ripper terrorised the streets of London in 1888. Now 20 years later, there was another killer in London. And that killer was nicknamed by the world press the Collector. And the reason for that nickname was he would take something, or he or she would take something from the victim's body. And that was the first noted case of what we now know as serial killers keeping trophies from their murders. And this was also the first documented case where the police used a psychic to help them with their investigation. And it's going to be your job to play the part of the psychic detective. Over here in this envelope, I have some photographs of the possessions that were taken, which I'll show you in a moment. And over here we have got the 10 suspects. They're all different. Obviously we have Benjamin, Henry, William, George, Thomas, Victoria. There was a mixture of men and women. Just close your eyes and I want you to think for a moment. Okay, I want you to imagine the scene. I want you to imagine the dark streets. I want you to imagine a cold, drizzly atmosphere. You can see the street lamps and you can see the sign for the police station. You're going to go inside and you're going to sit down and look at all the evidence. And immediately a number comes to mind. What number?
8.
Just think of any number. Have you got one?
Yeah.
What number do you have?
6.
6. Okay, and there's no way that I could have known you were going to pick number 6. You had no idea you were going to pick number 6.
No.
Okay. We are going to deal down 6. And we've come to Jason. Jason is the suspect that you chose, and you could have had anyone. You could have had Margaret, you could have had Benjamin, Henry, William, George, Thomas, Victoria, Ophelia, Elizabeth. You could have had any one of these killers, but you chose Jason. Now remember, at the beginning I told you inside here I had the objects that were taken from the bodies. The envelope is empty, but inside you'll see that one of the objects he took was a pocket watch. The other one was a key. The other one was a perfume bottle, a diamond engagement ring, and a pipe. Each one of these was from a different victim. And the reason he took them was so he felt closer to the victims. In fact, he really wanted to feel close, that he engraved his initial, one initial from each letter of his name on the back of each object. In fact, on the back of the pocket watch was found a big J. On the back of the key was found an A. On the back of the perfume bottle was an S. On the back of the ring was an O. And the pipe was an N.
No.
Finding Jason. I don't know how you did it, but if you ever need another job, I think a psychic investigator is right up your street.
I'm proper freaked out by that.
How cool is that?
That's really good. I'm a bit scared though.
Man, you are psychic.
That is fantastic. That is really, really good.
How
really
cool is
great. That is awesome. That is really, really good. That's
I'm
really
glad
cool.
you like it. Wow, that is the Collector, and it's there's a few things I want to point out there. Everything is completely examinable. So, you know, the envelope is genuine, it's normal, nothing going on. The cards, you have only got those cards, there's no sticky, no rough. There's literally nothing to find. It's as clean as that.
Yeah.
Such a strong effect, and a little bit of backstory for the collector as well. We purchased the rights to the collector around about a year or so before it was released, and the trick had almost no resemblance to what it is today, to what that trick is you've just seen in the trailer. And I remember speaking to Nicholas and I said, look, I'm going to buy the rights to the trick because I love the premise, but I don't think the trick is ready. And he agreed with me, and he worked on it for a year. So him and David Jonathan worked, David threw a couple of ideas in, I added the presentation when they showed me it, and I just think it's perfect. That year of working on it and focusing on it created what I think is one of the best spooky storytelling effects out there.
Yeah, I agree. It is a phenomenal effect, and one of the things I like about it is that it's very, very user friendly, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a very user friendly effect from a method standpoint. So that means that you don't have to, consider what you're doing or think about what you're doing so much when you're using it. You can concentrate just on the presentation. It's great. It really is.
And there's no dodgy moves, counts, or anything. I mean, it's all like you saw in the trailer, all out in the open.
Yeah.
That is an effect called the Collector. We do have them in stock. It's perfect for any time of year. I know you perform it quite often, Andy.
Yeah.
But it's great, obviously, if you're going to do any sort of Halloween party and you want something you can build a story to it. And for me, I like having a bit of music on my phone, just like the music there in the trailer, pressing that and then telling the story. Imagine that when you're sitting at the table, a couple of candles lit. It's a really spooky thing. And I know people that have literally bought props instead of using the cards and done the name thing with the props.
Yeah.
So they've really gone to town on it. I would say it's available in two versions, poker and pro size. And if you're after the trick and you want to take my advice, get it in the pro. I think it is absolutely beautiful in pro size.
Yeah, and also the beauty of having pro size is that obviously it will do close up and it will do a slightly larger audience as well. It plays slightly bigger, so it's definitely worth going for the pro. And
they do sort of look, in pro size, they look like old photos.
Yeah.
They're sort of that size as well, whereas the poker size, even though they're still lovely, they do look a bit more like playing cards because of the size.
Yeah.
Whereas the pro really, I think with this effect in particular, pro is the way to go.
Yeah.
And they're still small enough, like you said, to put in your pocket and perform close up. They're not that much bigger than poker, but they're big enough.
Yeah, for sure. As we're talking about spooky stuff today, there will be something else that is along that sort of lines coming up a little bit later on. If you see me shivering though, it's not because it's spooky, it's just because it's blooming cold in here.
Are you cold?
It is a little bit cold, isn't it?
I was going to put the heating on.
It's a little bit cold, but then I am, the door is just there, so that may be why.
But you're usually Mr. Fridge.
No, I'm normally Mr. Fridge. I think it's a psychological thing, because I think last time I was in here for a live, it was actually, we were still in the warm spell.
Yeah.
And so actually I was quite up for it being a little bit cooler, but now it's cold. So there we go.
So Andy, you've got a few tricks to show us, but you're going to start off with our latest release, which is a great little packet trick by John Kerry. I'm going to bring you up full screen, but everyone at home will still be able to hear me, because I'm going to take part in this.
Yeah, brilliant.
Okay.
Yeah, excellent. Okay. So Peter, you'll notice that down here on the table we have a set of cards that have a question mark on them. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is like a mystery, if you will. I'm going to put you out of your misery here by telling you what these are, so it's not a mystery. All right. I want you to just know that these are the ace through to 5 of spades. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So we have 5 cards here, the ace through to 5 of spades. In a moment, you're going to make a selection, all right? In fact, the selection that I want you to make, just in your mind for the moment, is whether you want to go for odds or evens. So could you just do that now for me?
Yep.
And what ones have you got?
Evens.
Evens, so that means that we've got the 2 and the 4, right?
Yes.
Excellent, okay. So I want you to hand me one of them. I know that we're going to do this distancing in our mind, so hand me one of them.
Yep.
Brilliant, and what one have you handed me?
The 4.
The 4, that's perfect. Okay, so here we have the 4 of spades, which I'm just going to leave down here in the packet. Now, remember at the very beginning, I said to you that there were 5 cards here that had a mystery question mark on the back of them. These ones here will remain face down, but you can see that the 4 of spades is the card that you selected. This is the one that I turned over in this packet. Now, some may say that this is destiny. And it could be construed as destiny. Personally, I like to think that this is a lesson in fate.
That is so cool.
It is, isn't it?
Honestly, I love that trick. I was at the Exonian Magic Convention on Friday with the great Oz Simmons, and it was a brilliant convention. If anyone was there, thank you so much for making myself and Jenny feel so welcome. Brilliant convention. It was only small. I think they had about 50 people. They had some great lectures. You had John Kerry, you had Graham Jolly, you had the fantastic Russ Brown, who owns House of Secrets in Blackpool, the new magic bar, and you had Paul Gordon did a workshop. So it was a really good, fun-packed day. But this was one of the effects I was demonstrating, and it's such a lovely effect to carry around.
Yeah, it is, and it is. You know, we've been friends with John for years. You know, and his magic is just it's very streamlined in a lot of senses, but you don't lose any of the impact. I think that is just one of the hallmarks of John's stuff, is that, you know, he has this ability to strip back the kind of procedure, if you will, and just focus on effect, and the effect is always astounding. I love it. I think it's great. You know,
it's a great little one to carry around. I perform it slightly different.
Yeah.
So I explain my version on the instructional video as well, but I show all 5 cards face down at the beginning. And then when they name their card, I say something very strange happens when you name your card. It turns itself face up. Let me show you what I mean.
Yeah.
So I make that a magical moment.
Yeah.
Rather than a prediction moment.
That's fair enough. Like I said, and the good thing about it is, as you were saying earlier on when you were talking about the collector, is that everything at the end is examinable.
Yeah.
It's not that you have to hide any cards for any reason. It is just that everything could be examined at the end. I think it's great. You know, it is an everyday carry.
Yeah.
You know, pop this in your Stealth Assassin. See what I did there? So put this in your Stealth Assassin or any of the other wonderful Alakazam wallets, and carry it around with you. You know, it's there, it's ready to go. It's a quick reset. You know, you can play the presentation whatever way you want. But yeah, I love it. So it's definitely one that I carry around with me.
Yeah, it's a great little thing. Great little thing. Right, Philip Austin said, Peter, just listening in the kitchen, reader collector, did I hear correctly? There are no EJH counts involved. There are no counts involved. Apart from you just counting the cards down onto the table.
No.
But there are no, there's literally no sleight of hand.
No.
Nothing at all. It is as clean as you see on the trailer. They name the number, you count down, you take the cards out of the envelope, you lay them out, and it matches. Honestly, the method to it, I know Nicholas is watching at the moment. I mean, Nicholas knows how much of a fan I am of his methods. But to me, the collector is just the best of the best. It's a beautifully structured routine. The method is super clever, and the actual reveal is a killer. There's nothing about that trick not to like.
No.
There really isn't. And Tommy Burnett says the collector is very clean and straightforward, and it really is. It's exactly like that. And Philip said, wow, I will be purchasing. Philip, you will not be disappointed, I guarantee it. And if you want to take my advice, go for the pro size.
Yeah.
Because they are beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Yeah, this is another great one as well, which is true. The other nice thing is you don't know the outcome until they count down to their number.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's honestly, it's great. It's such a good routine. So another thing that's happening, Andy.
Yes.
Next week, I believe we have got a brand new academy. It is next week, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it'll be the end of the month next week, won't it? Pretty much.
Yeah.
So yes, we have the wonderful Gimmick King himself.
Yes,
Steve Rowe.
Mr. Steve Rowe. We've got a little video of Steve, so I'm going to play that now. I don't know which one it is. So we're going to play a bit of video roulette, as we always do on Alakazam. If I play the wrong one, I'll quickly change it, so don't get too excited. Right, so I will play it. Let's have a look at this.
We interrupt your day to bring you some important news. To explain more, here's Steve Rowe. Thanks, Steve. I am so excited to be sharing with you my new online Alakazam Academy. A little bit crafty. For the first time, I'm going to be sharing with you not only my favourite routines, but my props and my techniques, how to make my gimmicks. Every step of the way, I'll be showing you in depth, not only the methods and techniques, but also the materials that I use so that you can start making your own props. And you never know, you might even get creative and start designing your own magic too. I'll also be going in depth making this one. I've never ever shared this much detail about how to make that. And maybe even that too. Not only is my magic fun and organic, it's workable. So whether you're a hobbyist or a professional magician, you're going to take something from this academy, trust me. I can't wait for you to join me in my Alakazam Academy, a little bit crafty. Now, where was I?
So, Steve Rowe is coming to the academy. It's going to be great.
Yeah. He's always got a smile on his face, as Steve.
He has. He's a happy chappy.
He has always got a smile on his face. And the stuff, the stuff that he's made up, that he makes up, as the gimmicks are just phenomenal. Really are. So he's going to share his world of gimmickry with you guys, so it's going to be fun and exciting times. You'll notice that actually, for those people that have purchased the Academy, it does list in there, there's in part of the description, it does give a kind of breakdown of things that are recommended that you bring or that you have with you, just so that you can go through in real time some of the stuff that he's going to be going through. But yeah, it's going to be great for people that are into their arts and crafts, and for those that aren't as well, because Steve has made a big point of saying, you don't have to have any specialist knowledge here. He's going to go through stuff with you, going to make it all very clear and straightforward. So yeah, you're going to learn a lot. Well, I'm hoping he's going to turn up a bit early, so I've got a couple of gimmicks I need him to make for me. Oh, we put him on requests.
Well, if he's got time.
Yeah.
And we've got our very own Gimmick King watching as well.
Hello,
Fantastic
Steve-O.
Steve-O Watson. Hello, Mr. Watson. So, yeah, a lot of great comments about Steve Rowe coming down to the academy.
One of the other things I was just going to say just about Steve's academy is you'll also realise that, you know, products that Steve's released have been quite quirky as well. You know, as you can see in the video there are some quirky items that he's going to be talking about that hopefully that he's, you know, made up in the past, things to do with pens and fruit pastels and all sorts of things.
Do you know what? It always surprised me how much of a great reaction that fruit pastel pen gets.
Yeah.
It's sort of one of those things that these little bits of business, I think when you're out working, you either understand their power or you don't. And I didn't for a long time. I didn't really understand their power until I started throwing some of them in. Although you know, I try and use it more sparingly now. I love the bar cut, you know, the gag with the alarm security tag jigs. The security tag thing. I absolutely love it. Now I know that there are people out there that would probably find that quite cliche because there was a point where that was overdone. I think you know, it was everything. But I found that actually still doing it gets a huge laugh. One of the other things that I do a lot is that I have Wayne very kindly gifted us some of the glasses that are blackout glasses. You know, for identikits, you know, if you want to start your identity, I use that quite a bit, and people love it. And I understand what you mean about the pen. I think it's because there's a surprise element there that you know, not surprise as in the magic part. It's a surprise of you taking the cap off and starting to write with it. It's that kind of surprise laugh. I was just thinking, so I know you're getting sort of really big into your mentalism. You know, if you're doing Sneak Thief or something like that, so just reach into your pocket, grab out your bundle of pens and just hand them out and just start walking off. Someone's going to be standing there with a pack of fruit pastels. You know, everyone else uncapped their pen and you go up and just take the cap off for it. You've just got a built-in funny moment. I know the other one that Harry does all the time, which was, I don't know if it's Chris Congreve's original idea, but we certainly learned it from Chris, which is the mini boomerang Harry has in his wallet. So when he's doing card to wallet, he opens his wallet, takes it out, and he went, I thought I threw that away. And it's just a little bit of business, but believe you me, the laughs are incredible.
You said about mentalism there. I had a similar sort of trail of thought, but with the Sharpie with the extending mirror. So you turn your back, people are writing stuff down, and you take the Sharpie and you extend it like that, and you kind of put it round as if you're trying to see the information. Do you get what I mean? They are funny. I think you're right. It's kind of using it in the right way, because we all know that gags for gag's sakes don't kind of work, but done in the right way and done at the right times, they can kill. They really can. Some people might find them cheesy, but in my experience with audiences, certainly with some of the stuff that I've been doing in stand-up recently, is that they don't. They find it funny. Done at the right moment.
If you guys use any sort of visual gags during your acts, drop them in the chat. Let us know what you use. Do you use like anything of Steve Rowe's, or have you got something you like? I mean, there was the old classic, that's a picture of my kids or my pride and joy. And in fact, Wayne has got a bundle of these sort of gag cards that he uses. Clifford said he loves the mini boomerang gag, makes him laugh every time. Same here. Tommy Burnett, gags are best when they're done sparingly, quite right. So this is a question about our website. Any chance of updating the website buttons to be white writing on the blue, as the black is difficult to see? I will look into that. I will look into that and check that out for you. Right, so you've got another trick for us.
I have. Yes, this is also a new arrival. This is a lovely effect from the amazing Liam Montier, and it's an effect to do with psychic, with ESP. You know what ESP stands for, right, Peter? Yeah.
Yes.
It is
extrasensory perception.
Perfect. Extrasensory perception. That basically means that it's to do with kind of connection. If anybody doesn't know what it means and has ever seen the film Ghostbusters, right at the very beginning of Ghostbusters, Peter Venkman is doing a test to do with extrasensory perception, to do with ESP cards. All right. I haven't got ESP cards. I've got a deck of cards here, but we're going to try out this experiment. And Peter, you don't mind helping me out from there, yeah?
I will help you out.
Excellent. Okay, we don't happily. Excellent.
Yes.
Okay. So look, Peter, the way that this is going to work is this. I'm going to ask you to just don't let your mind go blank, but think happy thoughts. All right, just think of some happy thoughts. And whilst you're doing that, I'm going to remove some cards. Yeah, brilliant. Okay, yeah, that's good. And we'll go for there's a joker there, we don't need that. We will go for this one, I think, and maybe even, actually, no, you can't see Peter, but I can, so I am going to go for this one instead. Excellent. Okay, they're very clearly coming across here. So we have two cards here. I haven't revealed this to you at the moment. I was trying to see what I could pick up without you seeing the cards. But
I'm going to bring your camera just down.
Okay.
A tad.
Oh, look at that. There we go. So look, we have some cards just here. The first one is the 3 of spades, the second one the ace of diamonds. So now you know what the cards are.
Yes.
Okay. Now I said this is an experiment. So the way this is going to work is this. I'm going to start dealing cards into 2 piles on the table here. And what I would like you to do is I would like you to just shout out stop wherever you would like.
Stop.
Do you want this card down or do you want it left on top?
I would like it down, please, if I may.
So we'll put that down. You have a choice of a couple of cards here. You have a choice of the 3 of spades or the ace of diamonds. What card would you like?
Ace of diamonds.
Ace of diamonds, so we will leave that just here. And we will continue dealing down onto the table. You shout out stop wherever you want.
Stop.
There?
Yep.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, so I will leave the 3 of spades just here, all right? So we have the 3 of spades and the ace of diamonds.
Yes.
Do you know what, right? I think we've made such a connection, Peter. We'll try something else, all right? I have here also a joker. I'm going to start dealing cards again, face down on the table. You say stop wherever you want.
Let's say stop now.
There? Do you want this card down or left on top?
Left on top.
Perfect, all right? And we will leave the joker just here, all right?
Yeah.
So look, there are 3 positions that have now been marked. We have the 3 of spades, which is just here. Obviously, this is face up. I mean, if you'd gone for another card, like 1 card less, for example, it would have been maybe this card.
Yeah.
We have here a card, the ace of diamonds. Let me just take that out. And the joker as well. Okay, 3 random places, 3 random cards. Every pack of cards, though, has a mate. For instance, the 3 of spades, the mate to the 3 of spades would be the 3 of clubs.
Ooh.
The ace of diamonds, I put that down on the table, and I started to deal, and you said stop, and actually you managed to stop by the mate of the ace of diamonds, the ace of hearts. Now let me just ask you a question. Would it amaze you if I was to ask you to think of a card and it would be there?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay. Well, it is there because it's one of the cards that are on here, right? And actually, the cards that are on here have got to come from somewhere, right?
Yeah.
They have got to come from somewhere. That's why they have come from the rest of the deck.
Wow.
Like so.
That's great. Such a lovely trick. And
Yeah.
Liam's such a great thinker.
Yeah. It is a superb trick. It is one of those things that, again, it's very easy to use. It's very user friendly. It's quick reset time, which for sometimes for tricks of this nature aren't quick. All right, you have to go through like tons of setup and stuff again. This doesn't have that kind of huge setup behind it. It's very easy to remember how to reset it as well, because again, even sometimes when it's a straightforward setup, it's kind of the sequence that you have to remember. But that is very, very straightforward.
And what's this called?
This is called The Big Kick. It is a new release by Liam Montier. It comes with the deck of cards all set up. So literally you take it out of the box, it's set up, ready to go. So once it's there, you take it out of the box, you watch the instructions. You don't have to set it up pre to that because they've already set it up for you. So you can just go straight into it and walk through with deck in hand. Liam has some great bonus tips on handling in there that, as is always the case with Liam, if you watch his academy course, for example, I had the pleasure of being on his academy course with him. He's very thorough about stuff, and he's got some great tips about things, and just the way that you kind of handle stuff, and what the way that you sell the trick that you're performing. So that is definitely abundant in the Big Kick. It's really good. We have these in stock. They're on our website. They're ready to go. So grab them quick though, because I think once people have seen that, they're going to be scrambling for them.
Yeah,
so
no, it's a great trick, and like you said, absolutely zero sleight of hand, so anyone can do it. Nicholas did also put up there, it reminds him a bit of Poison with regards to the routine. We did have another trick that's we're re-releasing as well, called Inevitable, which was the same sort of thing but using ESP cards, with a great blank deck kicker. But this is a great little effect.
It is a great great effect. Like I said, it all comes set up ready to go, so you don't have to worry about that before you get into the instructions. You just literally put the instructions up on screen, get your deck and start going. Yeah,
brilliant, good stuff. Right, so we've got another trailer to play, and then I'm going to come and join you because you have got a little spooky effect for us.
I have, yes. Ooh.
Okay, so let me play this trailer. I don't know which one it is, so we might have a go a little trailer roulette.
Yay!
Let's give it a go.
Welcome to POV, a creation by myself and Julio Montoro. POV is a very special sticky pad with a brand new secret that will make you smile when you see how it works. There are no electronics or special impression devices. Before I tell you more about it, let's first see a full uncut performance with Julio Montoro.
I want you to think on a 3-digit number between 1 and 1,000. Got it? Okay, I want you to write it down. So, here you have your Sharpie, and write it down. 3-digit number. I don't want to see it. Got it? Can you pick the deposit? Pick it.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so are my hands empty?
Yes.
Great. Five, 3, 7. Really? 32. 3, 0, 1. 8, 5, 6.
How?
43. See? Great. Keep it on your hands. Are my hands empty?
Yes.
Great. Think on the number, okay? Five.
In the instructions, we teach you many different handlings, all very easy to perform.
Can you take it? So good.
You will also learn several amazing routines. The mirror routine, where the magician drawing matches the spectator one. There is also a great card trick with a surprise ending and an effect where one drawing magically transforms into another. Get POV now at your favorite magic dealer.
So that is POV. They're on pre-order at the moment, Andy?
They are on pre-order, yes.
And they're released when?
I believe they're in next week. Yeah.
Brilliant. Good stuff. Also, to let you guys know, we've just added all of Murphy's downloads, I believe, onto our site now.
Yes.
So you can get all the downloads as well that you've seen advertised everywhere. And I want to thank you all as well for your continued support and custom, because we're introducing or welcoming new members to the AlakazamMagicUK family every single day. A lot of those are coming from Europe and America, which is phenomenal. And remember, if you haven't done so already, pop yourself over to the App Store and the Google Play Store if you're on Android, and download the AlakazamMagicUK app, because there's a few good things about this. Firstly, if you do shopping on your mobile, then the app makes it super easy. Also, we have some very cheeky surprise lives that happen just in the app, and special offers. So if you're an app user, you'll get a push notification with special offers that we put out once every week or two. And also we do live shows, and I'm planning a weekly live review show. Whether it will start this side of Christmas or not, I'm not sure. And I'm going to choose a day to do it. So it might happen on a Sunday. I'm going to do it from home. It's going to happen live in the app, and I'm going to review the top 5 products of the week. So that's exclusively for AlakazamMagicUK app users. So grab yourself the app. It's totally free of charge. David Blair, just when I didn't think I was going to buy anything, you showed me POV. I'll tell you what, David, before you make that statement, wait till you see this next one. So, Andy.
Yes.
The next effect you're going to talk to us about.
Yes. So, Peter's going to come and join us in just a second.
I certainly am.
But before he does, I just want to give you a quick rundown of this. Many years ago, me and my wife Debbie were in the shop. This is pre-Noah being born. We were in the shop, and there was a couple of effects that I was kind of looking up on the shelves. And Peter said, "Have you seen Till Death by Jim Critchlow?" And I said, "No, I haven't." And you kind of explained the basis of the effect to me, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, I don't know." And then Debbie, my wife, said, "Oh yeah, let's have a look." And you performed Till Death for on that day, and immediately you did that because I saw the look on her face, and I was immediately sort of like, I've got to get this effect. I've got to get this effect, and I've done it ever since. I will be the first to say I don't do it all the time.
No.
But there are times where this is just perfect for the right situation. I remember being at a friend's birthday once. I'd done some magic for them. There was a big table, and I was asked if I could do one more trick. And I decided to do this. And one of the people there, after I'd done it, I think, you know, they quite possibly thought that I was, the Messiah or something, because they were there in disbelief. So that tells you how strongly it plays. So without further ado,
I was going to say, let me just add a couple of bits in there.
Yeah.
An effect like this, you made a really good point there.
Yeah.
An effect like this is not for 666.
Oh,
no. If
that
you
is
haven't
a
liked
sign,
our Facebook page already, go like it, knock us off to 666.
Yeah.
But an effect like this is for the right time.
Yeah.
It's for the right time. And the history to this effect was every year, me and Jenny, we head to Blackpool for the big Blackpool convention. And one of my highlights of the year is a gentleman called Jim Critchlow. Now, Jim does a lot of bizarre storytelling magic, and he also goes above and beyond. Like, for his tricks, he goes to lengths that none of us would ever dream of. There was one year, and I think I've told this story before, one year he said, "Oh, would you mind if I showed you my version of Heirloom?" And I said, no, I'd love to see it. So he told this great story about a cowboy in, you know, the old Western times. He was a gambler. He got killed and he got buried with the card he was caught cheating with. So the story, you know, it followed the heirloom sort of principle, but the story was about an old cowboy got caught cheating with a card up his sleeve, got shot, and he was buried with the card. Can you know, what card was it? So I named the card. He brings out this old photograph, and it's a dug hole with a coffin in there with a skeleton holding the card. So my first thought, obviously I know the method because I perform heirloom, but my question was, who done the photoshopping? Did you get Abe to do it? It's incredible. He went, no, we got up, I own a field. We got up at 5 in the morning, went and dug a hole. I got an old coffin and a skeleton, and they literally done all this. And I went, oh, you should have just called AD. But the thing was, it looked incredible, and they're the lengths that Jim goes to. Now, one of these evenings, we were sitting in the bar, and Jim said, oh, would you mind if I showed you something? And to me, that's my Blackpool. You know, when Jim says that's it. So me and Jenny sat down with Jim, and he told us the story to this effect. He performed the effect on us. And I'll tell you now, I did not have a clue. I did not have a clue. And it sent shivers up my spine. The reveal was incredible. I'm not going to go into it because you're going to show it in a minute. I don't want to tell too much. But the first time I saw this, I didn't have a clue what was going on. I was so taken in by the story as well. It was something that I said to him, I've got to have it. We've got to bring this out, because, and this, if you speak to people like Jamie Dawes, I believe even maybe Nicholas Mavresis, this is the trick that started it all.
Yeah.
This is the trick that got Jamie into all of this sort of bizarre storytelling magic with photographs and things like this. This is the trick. So I'm going to come over there and join you.
Okay, all right.
Oh, Alan Weston says he's suffering from COVID, so I want everyone to send him a big hug. A big warm hug for Alan. Get well soon, mate. Right, I'm coming over.
Okay, all right. Peter is coming to join me down here on the table. Oh.
I'm over here. I'm not going to trip over anything.
No, or sit on anything. I've moved it all. So, did you?
Right.
So Peter,
yes.
right, I don't know if you've had this experience before, all right, being that we do magic, sometimes we arrive at places where possibly we've never met the people before. I'm not talking about gigs here, but social functions,
yeah,
where people find out that you're a magician, right, and it kind of throws people a bit. Right, it throws people a bit because it's not something that generally comes up in conversation. Yeah. Most people are saying, oh, accountant, lawyer, solicitor, doctor, that sort of thing, but never a magician. Yeah. I've found recently that that's become sort of like a double threat, because what happens is people, Debbie, my wife, will say, oh, Andy's a magician, and people go, oh, right, okay, and it doesn't have that sort of kick to it anymore, yeah, right? But then she says, oh, he works in a magic shop, and people go, magic shop? Magic shop? I've never heard of a magic shop, right? So it kind of throws people a bit. And I thought the other day, you know, it's a weird sensation that actually, if you don't know something about someone, even if you've known them a long time, that can kind of throw you a little bit. I mean, if you was to turn around to me and reveal a bit of information after the time that we've known each other, it could potentially throw me, because I'd think, well, I didn't know that about Peter, right? So many years ago, I say many years ago, I was 18 when my granddad passed away, right? And when my mum and dad were clearing out his loft, they found a load of photos. Now, not family photos, they found a load of photos from weddings, all right? These are the photos from the weddings here. I'm sure that everybody can see these. They're happy souls, aren't they? Right? These are photos from weddings. These specifically are photos that my granddad had taken at weddings, a little bit like a wedding photographer would do today, because we know that wedding photographers have become more and more popular. Places like wedding fairs and stuff, much like magicians have. These are photos that he'd taken over. Obviously, they're not colour photos, and you can see it's quite a broad range of years here. I think these are all being picked up on the camera. Now, he gave up photography, right? I'm told that he gave up photography, and the reason that he gave up photography is because he became quite close to the people that are in these photos, and unfortunately, one of the stories of the couples in this photo didn't end very well, and that kind of was the catalyst for him to stop taking photos anymore. All right, look, we have some photos down here on the table. I want to see how in tune you are here today. So I don't know, I can't remember what hand you write with. What's your dominant hand? Excellent. Hold out your dominant hand just about here. That's perfect. All right. And what I want you to do is I want you to move it backwards and forwards over the photos. I want you to just relax as you did earlier on. And I want you to stop wherever you feel. Okay. Wherever you feel the urge. Okay. I just went there. Okay. Now, I asked you to stop wherever you can move your hand. I asked you to stop wherever you felt the urge. Did you actually have a feeling, or was it something that maybe you can't quantify, something that you just kind of you just kind of went with?
Just something I went with.
Okay, so it wasn't a gut feeling as such.
It was a feeling to stop.
It was a feeling to stop.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, given that you have no information apart from the fact that these are wedding photos, right? And that my granddad taken them. All right. If I was to also tell you a little bit more about one of the photos, maybe that will sway you a little bit more. All right. My granddad stopped taking photos. I said earlier on that he got close to people in the weddings that he was taking. One of the couples he got close to, but unfortunately their marriage didn't last that long. Okay. But for various reasons, which we'll come back to later on. We won't use your dominant hand this time. All right, I want you to hold out both hands, and I'm going to just give you a little bit of information. One of the couples, their relationship ended because there was an actual murder that was committed. All right. Ooh. So with that information in mind, when I snap my fingers, I want you to bring one of your hands down. Ready? There? Yeah. Okay, all right, so we'll get rid of these two. And there are two photos left here on the table. Hold your hands out again. We'll try this one last time. Bring your hands down. Perfect, and we will get rid of that one as well. Yeah. So that leaves us one last photo here. Now, earlier on, you had no information, and I asked you, did you go for like a gut feeling or anything? And you said you felt the need to stop around this sort of area. Okay. Given that you had some other information earlier on, and these were quite impulsive reactions here. I'm surprised that you landed. Well, I'd say I'm surprised. I'm not surprised that you landed here because this couple, out of all of these, I mean, I don't really know the names of these people here, but I do know about Joan and Arthur. Okay, this is Joan and Arthur here. About all the people that my granddad got attached to, I think Joan and Arthur were the ones that he was attached to the most, and unfortunately, their relationship didn't end well. We have a photo here. I know it's an uncomfortable thing. But do you mind just taking hold of the photo and just tearing it down the middle? And once you've done that, just hand me one of the pieces. Okay, and hand me one. Perfect. And what I would like you to do is I would like you to take this one and just tear it in half. Yeah. Joan and Arthur have a sad story in actual fact. I'll turn this around just so that everybody can see. Joan and Arthur had a sad story. They were only married 2 weeks. It seems that unbeknownst to Arthur, Joan actually had a few issues that he was unaware of. She had a bit of a nervous breakdown one day, and when Arthur was laying in bed, she walked downstairs, went to the kitchen, picked out the biggest knife that she could find from the kitchen drawer, walked back upstairs and took it to Arthur's throat. And then spent the rest of her life in a mental institute until she died. Okay, I'm actually getting quite uncomfortable myself. I think that my granddad he ended his career as a wedding photo, and I think he must have felt as shocked and bereaved as possibly I'm feeling here today, because out of all of the photos that he'd taken, and we're talking in a time when photos weren't things that you would have masses of, not like photo albums, right? There was only one that he had a duplicate of that he ended up destroying. When I say destroy, he must have still had a bit of an attachment to it, because even though he destroyed it, he kept all the pieces, and that would be the pieces of the photo that were from Arthur and Joan's wedding.
That is so good. It's honestly, just seeing again, I haven't performed that for 4 years, 5 years.
Yeah.
And now I'm thinking, why? Why haven't I performed it? I mean, I'm going to head back over here.
You head back over there, we'll have a talk. All right?
I know my presentation was about my mother asking me to go and help an old family friend whose husband had died clear out her loft.
Yeah.
And I used to say that I found a box of photographs and I found out he used to be a photographer.
Yeah.
And there was nothing very strange about that apart from this black envelope.
Uh-huh.
This black envelope just intrigued me.
Yeah.
I looked at the contents and I didn't really understand it until I asked his wife.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a really strange story attached to this. And then I go through the presentation. It's phenomenal.
It is
phenomenal.
Just a couple of things about this. Obviously, you can give this away as a souvenir. Now, I know for a fact people that I've performed this for still keep this in their wallet. They still keep this in their wallet, and any time I've seen them since, they've gone, I've still got that photo. It has changed over the years. I don't think that's probably the same way that I performed it when I initially started performing it. I probably performed it more closer to the way that Jim does and Mark Elterson does on the video.
Yeah.
But it is such a strong effect, and it's such a strong effect because it connects to people in such a way.
The other thing to say as well, is this type of effect.
Yeah.
I found when I used to perform it, and when I did perform it, I performed it a lot.
Yeah.
It has more impact.
Yeah.
The older the person you're doing it on.
Yeah, very true.
Because photographs have a value to older people. They do not have a value to younger people now.
No.
If you ask a younger person, the effect will still be great. But if you ask a younger person to tear a photo, they tear a photo without thinking. It means nothing to them. They'll go to Tesco and print off another one. People of a certain generation, and you'll find this when you're performing it, you ask them to tear that photo, that in itself is a very weird thing. And you always get that, really?
Yeah.
Because it's a weird thing. Photos were not things that were readily available. You would get your roll of film developed, and that was it. That was your photo.
Yeah, and it's true, and having performed this the amount of times that I have, as you have, Peter, they are in that position where they don't want to, they feel uncomfortable, but as that goes,
yeah,
that is kind of what you want, because that builds the effect even more. This fact that you're tearing stuff, especially when you get this moment where the head's being torn as well. That is a very uncomfortable moment for a lot of people, but one that builds within the story that you're telling. The other great thing about it is that people will start making, because of the story and because of the nature of the effect, people will start filling in gaps even if you don't mention them. They'll start talking about the fact that in this photo, for example, compared to this photo, that the cut across the neckline here is the same.
Yeah.
it's not exactly the same, but it's enough of the same that is pretty much this photo. The tears, you know, everything.
So it's a question just come in. Sorry, Andy.
That's all right.
From Adam. Hi, Adam. The trick is called Till Death. There it is on our website. It's called Till Death, and yes, you hand out their photo, the one they've torn. You give it to them as a souvenir. And I know people that have had those little sort of frames, so they put it in the frame and stick it down with their business card on the back and hand it out. You do get refills with it, but we also provide you with the artwork to print your own refills, and they're sized so you get 2 out of a regular size photo. And online, a regular size photo is, I think they cost like 6 pence or 8 pence. So they're like 4 pence a performance or something.
And remember, you can also, if you ever wanted them on the fly, you could literally, if you've got them on if you've got the files and you can do it on your phone, you can put it, go to somewhere like Tesco's and print them off, you know, there and then. And you get, like Peter said, you get the artwork for all the photos, so not just one, it's all of them. So if you wanted to change it up a little bit, you could, and it is great. The other thing that I was just going to say with regards to the actual video itself as well, the instructions, Jim Critchlow and Mark Elston are on the instructions. It is probably the best instruction on the approach to this type of effect that I've seen for a long time, with the exception of some things like Cataclysm, for example, which is another superb effect. You know, the approach that they take to the, you know, one of the principal involved with this from a method point of view
is a bit of a masterclass.
It is very much a masterclass, so you will get loads out of it. Till Death is a superb effect,
and we don't have many left.
We don't have many left. No, we don't have many left. So I would get in quick.
Because we will rerun it, but it won't be till next year.
No, but if you're looking for something really cool and really engaging and really great to perform for your audiences, then Till Death is the thing. And
you know, 4 or 5p a performance if you're going to hand it. Well, it's going to be 4 or 5p a performance because you're destroying one of the photos every time. But for that sort of thing, it's just worth every penny. And it's I will say, it's a good, if you're in the right situation, it's a good 4 or 5 minute performance piece.
And also one of the other things, although I generally do it for one-on-one, you can get other people involved with it as well. Even if you're doing this one-on-one, like I was just performing it here for Peter, the good thing about doing that is that even though it is one-on-one person making choices, everybody sitting around that table watching that will get involved because they're listening to the story, they're listening to what's happening, they're making choices in their own mind as well, and they're kind of building on that. So although you could get them involved from a selection point of view, they are still involved from a kind of involvement point of view due to the way it's presented anyway. So it's a fabulous effect.
Cool. Right, so Andy, that brings us now. We've actually overrun. So that brings us to about 1:15. But guys, if you want to pick that up, it's Till Death, Do Us Part by Jim Critchlow. It's only £18.99. When we rerun this, the price will be going up to £24.99. So if you're interested in one, grab one now because you are going to be grabbing yourself a bargain. That's it for us for this week. Thank you so much for joining us. Next Tuesday on the live, we've got Craig Petty joining us live right here in the studio. And remember, next Tuesday evening, we have got the live launch as well. And later on during that week, we've got the amazing Steve Rowe coming down for his academy. The tickets for the academy are available on the site now. So go grab yourself a ticket. And Phil Austin said he purchased Till Death a few years back, only performed it twice. Halloween, it frightened the life out of the participants. Yeah, it really, really does. It's fantastic. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to our very own Andy for coming in. We're going to try and get Andy in more often because he gets more of a chance to play with the tricks than anyone here. So he's good at deming this sort of stuff. So guys, thank you so much for joining us. We will see you next Tuesday right here on the live. And if you haven't done so already, please like our Facebook page. As you can see, we've got 69,000 followers on our Facebook page now, and that's all thanks to you guys. And like I said, thank you so much for your continued support of AlakazamMagic. Magic. It really does mean the world to us. And if you haven't done so already, please download the app, because there's going to be a lot of special things happening on the app. So download it, it's totally free of charge. And we will leave you with a bit of information about next week's live launch. So until next week, it's bye from me.
And bye from me.
We will see you soon.
How do you do that?
Well, I read your mind, which is different to making a prediction.
You are a freak.
Yes,
You are a freak.
That's